All right, GameTrailerians, the weekend is here. It's Friday. This is Invisible Walls, episode 70, and I just made up a word.
I did it last week.
Yeah. People seem to like your word, Brooks, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I saw some people spelling it out in the comments section.
Good.
So
It's 3 words
catching
together.
on. Anyway, we do have a good show today. Not a lot of games coming out right now, but we do have some awesome dirt that we've dug up to talk about. And here to speak about it is Marcus Beer.
The weekend's here.
Brooks Huber, who you already heard from.
What's going on?
Daniel Bloodworth.
Hey, I'm here and I'm not beat up. As one commenter said, I sound like I'm beat up every time I introduce myself.
You got a little more energy today. And Ryan Stevens is sitting in as well.
Hi.
Hi. Hey. Here we go.
Revenge is like a ghost. It takes over every man it touches. Its thirst cannot be quenched.
All right, we've had some reports coming out recently about some pre-order bonuses for games. Obviously, GameStop is doing everything it can to keep people coming into its brick-and-mortar stores to buy games. The latest tactic are these exclusive new pre-order bonuses that actually add things, or if you didn't pre-order, take things away from the game.
No, what actually got me started on this, though, it wasn't even a GameStop exclusive. It was a post on PlayStation Blog about Gran Turismo PSP. And I've got the quote right here, is pre-order it, and you'll get a voucher that will add one of the top cars to your in-game collection in an exclusive color. This means that on day one, you'll be able to smoke your friends in 4-player ad hoc mode, multiplayer races with one of these rare sports cars while they are just getting started saving up credits. And then the next day, Blur basically announced that they're doing the same thing with a multiplayer advantage booster kit.
Is it the first 20 races or something like that?
Is a cap on it?
Gives you unparalleled multiplayer benefits, whatever that means. The Ford Bronco survival multiplayer mode.
Yeah, that's going to rip around the track real quick.
Double the fans for the first 10 multiplayer races, which translates to more cash for upgrades.
Now, is this going to be a downloadable thing, or is it going to be included right on the disc?
I think they vary depending on which one of these they are.
Where
How
do
do you
we
guys
live?
feel about this? I mean, they're basically letting you pay to become good at a game. And actually, Madden does a little bit of this. We'll talk about it a little later. But
I think the difference this year is pre-order, and the reason they're doing, let's clarify the reason they do the pre-orders in the first place, because the bigger the pre-order numbers, the bigger the order GameStop will put in with the game publisher. That's why developers are under pressure to create unique add-on content. I mean, gone are the days of having a free T-shirt or having a free baseball cap. Now
what
it's all
happened to
about
the days
in-game.
when a golden cartridge was good enough?
Yeah.
that you could sell on eBay for $2,500 10 years later.
Right.
So that's the reason they're all doing this. I think some of these are, they're basically twinks. They're out and out twinks, and anything that affects the gameplay.
Now, for us Americans, explain what a twink is.
Well, if you it's actually not necessarily an American thing. It's more, or a British thing. It's actually more of an MMO
EverQuest
term.
thing.
If you twink somebody, it's basically I've been on the MMO for 3 years, and I've got all this money and all this gold and these cool items. You've just joined. I'm going to twink your character. I'm going to basically give you lots of money. I'm going to
That means hooking up a new character with stuff that they haven't earned.
I'm going to go through all the early missions with you, so you level up faster. So that's what twinking means.
Gotcha.
Okay. Glad I
In
could
this
help out there.
context.
You can tell I play a lot of MMOs.
Yeah, I'm just going to go out and say I think this sounds batshit crazy.
Yeah, it's
Like
insane.
I mean, 2 years ago when I was trying to play through Jericho, they had cheat codes that you had to unlock via 1-900 number where it would generate a code, you put in the code, and give you the cheat. And I thought that was already bizarre. But this is even way more blatant.
You know what was really bizarre about that, though? That 1-900 number made more money than the game itself.
Oh, I guarantee it.
Probably.
Guarantee
Yeah.
it.
But it's probably going to be, this all seems to be happening all at once, but it sounds like this is going to be the norm. This is a huge list. There's five or six games
you're
here?
basically punishing people for just buying your game.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing that, GameStop already treats people like third-class citizens for walking in on the first day and not having a pre-order.
Yeah, you're right.
It's like...
They turn you away, yeah. It's just like,
Yeah,
you come in to buy the
it's like
game.
instead of using the pre-order as an indicator for how many they should order, it's like that's all they order. And if you're not on that list, then you're not going to get it for a couple more days.
But it's the multiplayer aspect, though, that's just so bizarre.
That's the thing. If it's a multiplayer enhancement, that to me is not very nice. If it's a
Just
single
a
player,
competitive any help competitively, that's garbage.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
You're breaking the gameplay. It's not.
Yeah, one of the top cars day one. I
I
mean,
mean, how's that going to
with
knock
that-
up your the ranking
How is
system?
that fun? You take the car out of the track and you're lapping people. Like, yeah, you're 5-0, but who cares? You're not having any fun.
Oh, I'm sure there's a lot of sad people out there who will take extreme glee in cheating. I mean, they're the same people who are running the
Wall
no-clip,
hacks.
the wall hacks, the no-clip hacks, and everything on Call of Duty
Camping
right
on
now
planes
on
in
the
Battlefield.
PlayStation. Yeah, seriously, there's those people. They're having that sort of fun. But yeah, there's no sense of achievement out of it. But how's this going to affect the rankings? That's what I'm curious to know. Are they going to have two separate ranking tables where you
Pre-order,
have the
non-pre-order.
or is there going to be a little
You'll
asterisk?
just be able to buy your rank.
It's like Barry Bonds' home run ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should get. Where are they going to stop? Is it going to the point where you can pay $100 and be ranked number one? I mean,
Yeah. But
that's
I mean,
where it's tiptoeing towards. Give somebody an extra map to screw around in, whatever. But when you start messing with the competitive balance of the online atmosphere for a game, that's just screwed up.
It's too much.
That shows that you don't care. You didn't care probably about balancing your game in the first place before you released it. I mean, you can't throw something like that out there and expect the game to be balanced all across the board.
I'm all for enhancing the single player stuff, so that's why I kind of like the Dragon Age Origin ones, because it's a single player game and there's some cool charms in there. When I bought Infamous, you got the Gigawatt Blades enhancement, which unfortunately was about as useful as a chocolate condom.
Yeah.
But it was nice to have.
Yeah,
cool,
wasn't
you know,
it just like upgraded melee attack?
It was upgraded, but yeah,
I never
upgraded
actually
melee
got
Condom
to
increasing
sounds kind
power.
of useful.
Not for birth control, trust me. And when you have to clean out the pipes afterwards, yeah. But yeah, anything that enhances the single player game, I'm all for, and I think that's great. And that's
I don't
really
know
nice
if I'm
reward.
all for it. I mean, you start getting into questions of facts and things like that. I mean, they're going to write two facts now. One fact's going to be if you really play the game. The other one's going to be if you get this high-powered weapon.
Yeah.
Dude, I think
And the
that-
fact is just going to say, use the high-powered weapon.
Look,
period.
let's go back to Dragon Age ones, because I've got a serious urge for this one, where you get the feral charm out of GameStop. And with this charm, hunters claim that they are enchanted on moonlit nights by scantily clad witches deep in the hearts of the wilds. That to me sounds hysterical. That's the Dragon Age one. I mean, let's face it, sex sells. I mean, yes, it just adds to your armor and increases your health regeneration. Well, let's face it, nothing gets your heart going like a couple of scantily clad
But yeah,
witches.
but between those two, you've got increased defenses, health regen, and more experience through the whole game.
But it's also a single player game. It's not a multiplayer
Yeah, but
game.
it's
So
I don't know anything
you know
like
what,
that.
you've
I
got-
mean, it does matter, and it's not as important in single player. I still think it's complete bull crap that they're going to do that in a single player.
Well, and I'm also sure that if you want to take the challenge, you can actually you can play it through with those, and then you can play it through without.
Like, I don't mind a badge of honor, maybe something that alters your character, that shows you paid the extra money for the collector's edition, as long as that weapon doesn't function any better
Yeah. like
than
in
what
Gears of
everyone
War
else is
2.
using. Like
you
the
got the gold
golden gun.
lancer.
Yeah.
Right. That's it.
Cool with
you know,
that.
it's
That's
the same
fine.
gun as everybody else.
It's your
has,
little
just
badge of
gold.
honor. You got the collector's edition. You can run around. People are like, oh, look, he's got the gun. But
And it makes you a target because got the gun, it's exploding. Bang, bang.
But still, it's not affecting the balance of the overall game. To me, that's where the line has to be drawn in the sand, whether it's single player or multiplayer.
Yeah. What I do like though is the ones with the beta invites.
Oh, of course, that's
yeah,
great.
Infamous with Uncharted 2, Crackdown with Halo. I guess Halo ODST is going to get you into Reach. So
Madden just did it. You could get the more full-feature demo if you pre-ordered the game. So those are good.
yeah, I like
Changing the
those.
game by giving people objects or spells or attacks, not good.
Enhancing the single player game is not a problem as far as I'm concerned. Enhancing the multiplayer experience is a recipe for disaster.
All right, next we're going to talk about a game that I and you guys probably never dream of be talking about on the show. It's called Trials HD, a little piece of DLC that we downloaded on a whim, and it has basically taken over the entire office over the last few days. Why is this game so addicting? And first of all, let's set it up
Okay.
so people understand how it works. Brooks, you've been playing it
It's
a lot.
a pretty simple, straightforward game. You basically just control a motorcycle rider on a dirt bike, and what you're looking at is like a side view of the screen, and you just come over across like a whole series of challenges, one after the other. It's perfect for people that have like ADD or they just want to jump into a game. What I love about it, it has instant likability, and it's a blast to play.
It's just very simple.
Yeah.
There's a gas, there's a brake,
You don't have
there's
to worry about steering left or
orienting
right.
your rider.
You're on a fixed track.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
And if you guys ever watch Trials on ESPN, it's like they do it on bicycles, they do it on four-wheel drives. Basically, it's just you trying to negotiate this series of boulders or whatever. That's usually the way it is in the real sport. Here, it's like ramps and like levels and all kinds of crazy
complete
contraptions.
fantasy-filled tracks.
Right.
Which, like, when you first see them, you're just like, oh, there's no way that's going to happen.
Yeah, you watch people when they first start one, you're like, there's no way you'll make it through that. And then somehow using the physics of the bike,
They
in
still don't get
conjunction.
through it.
Right.
Yeah,
got vertical climax.
I have issues with this game. Just watching it, I think I watched the same 7 yards get transversed for 30 minutes.
Oh.
For like an utter fail. I think you were there for.
Yeah,
for
well,
some
the good
of
news
that.
is you can just hit the B button and it instantly just zaps you right back to that checkpoint.
Yeah, there's no loading time.
There's no loading.
Yeah.
If there was loading, I wouldn't have played that game more than 2 minutes.
But it's the same screen over and over, and people are addicted. But I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing.
I'm with you on that one, Stevens. Like, I've played it for a little bit, and I was like, okay, I get it, it's addictive. But I think if you didn't have 15 people around who are all begging to get their next turn, if you really tried each one of those like 20 times in a row.
It definitely has its appeal for some people, but I mean, you can tell it kind of has the basis in like an infuriating Flash game where the first couple levels are easy, and then it's just like ridiculous challenge.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
it's
cool that
huge.
they added like a level editor, and there's leaderboards and all the niceties you expect. But I still kind of get that. I mean, it's cool with the physics and everything, and it's a nice looking game. But I still kind of get that like glorified Flash game kind of feel from it.
What is DLC? And it's only, I think, $15.
Yeah.
I think this one's 10 actually.
Is it?
Yeah, I'd have to double check though.
But we've been playing it for 3 days straight, like 15 guys playing it for 3
and I'm
days.
still
Yeah.
seeing new things. Like today, I saw some new stuff that I hadn't even seen previously. They got these challenges, these skill-based challenges.
Yeah, like the long jump or whatever
Yeah,
it
it's
was.
a long jump, and then you get lit on fire, and it's like, how fast can you ride?
Yeah,
throughout
and
the
I saw some
level,
like
and-
Ring of Fire and stuff like that.
Yeah.
No, it's cool. They have some like added value, but maybe I'm just being the curmudgeon-y guy, which I thought was usually Marcus's job.
Actually, can I just say something? I haven't played this yet. I actually saw it being played today.
Yeah.
But the thing that struck me was I used to do the exact same with this 30 years ago with my Evil Knievel wind-up motorbike.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Where I'd set fire to him and send him across the backyard.
That's cool.
So, I mean, for nostalgia purposes, I just wish, I'd had my Evil Knievel toy again.
It's pretty nice ragdoll physics and stuff on there, so when you do screw up, you see your guy get bent in half, whatever.
Oh, yeah,
Except
people definitely
reset
groan.
it before they know they're going to fail. Like, like after the first 30 minutes, people don't even watch the guy fall or blow up anymore.
Yeah.
They just reset.
Yeah, but for me, who's only played it a couple times, like, I still watch it, and I'm like, oh! And everybody looks at me like, what, dude?
You ever seen
You
the
think
movie?
that's bad?
You ever seen the movie Mulholland Drive?
Yes.
You remember when Naomi Watts is like furiously jerking off, but she looks like she's getting no pleasure out of it?
Yeah.
That's kind of what I feel about this game. It's like you got to get
boy.
to the end, but you may not enjoy the journey.
Can I
Yeah.
just say that movie also has one of the hottest lesbo scenes I've ever seen in my life. And we should run some footage of that right now. Take that, ESRB.
Anyway, I think regardless of how Ryan and I feel about it and how everyone else feels about it, I do think it's one of those games that's kind of a pleasant surprise. I think, is there a demo for it, maybe on Xbox
There'll always be a
Live?
demo, yeah.
So I think people should maybe try the demo if you like that sort of aesthetic of try again.
Yep.
And fail.
And fail, and then
But even
try.
just the whole pass the controller thing, I mean, it's a great game for that.
Yeah, it is. Because you've tried something about 6 times, and you're like, I'm over it. And then you hand it to someone else who tries it 6 times, they're like, I'm over it. And you keep doing that until someone finally gets it. So if you're into those kind of games, definitely recommend checking it out. Our review should be up by now. I know we're cutting it today, so hopefully we'll get that done in time for you guys. But I don't know. It's one of those love it, hate it kind of games.
I love
guess.
it myself.
Eyes on. Engaging.
All right, so last week, a couple people here on the squad got to go check out Operation Flashpoint 2. I was not one of them, but Marcus and Ryan both got a chance to check it out. You guys, take it away.
It's just some that attacks him.
Shut it. Shut it,
Trolling.
Stevens, you slag.
No, it looked good.
Yeah?
Yeah, we had it running in HD and SD for some weird technical stuff, and the HD definitely looked a lot better. I think it's pretty obvious. But the thing that really got me is that they were showing off the co-op. Is that what?
Yeah.
It was a 4-player co-op, but it was designed with 4-player co-op in mind from the get-go. Because even if you play single player, it's you and 3 other mates. So I thought that made it pretty intriguing that it was built with co-op in mind.
The great thing
that
about
level, 4 players.
Yeah, you got 4 human players, or if you end up with just 2 human players, you got pretty smart bots who they don't take the
Are they
initiative.
smart enough? Because if the whole game was built for 4 human
still beta.
players,
Yeah, they
Or alpha.
no, this was a beta.
Okay.
But yeah, if they won't walk in front of your weapon, which is pretty good. And let's face it, that's actually a step up from a lot of AI. Given some of the AI I've seen over the years, they don't really take initiative, but they do follow orders pretty well. In the version I saw, I mean, the great thing is, as Ryan said, that this is a tax sim, and it's the first time I've seen a really sort of like old school tax sim in such a long time. And admittedly, I was kind of disappointed I was seeing the Xbox version, because I'd like to have seen the PC version,
which is getting a level editor.
It's getting a level editor, and running on a kick-ass machine, I'm sure it would be absolutely gorgeous. But the basic overview is, the original Operation Flashpoint, you're going after the Russians. This one, you're helping the Russians. The world is in the midst of an energy crisis, and there's a small island that Russia controls that is being targeted by the Chinese, so you're going after the Red Chinese this time. There's, orders on the fly that you can call, basically call up your squad orders, and you can tell people to, medics to heal, heavy gunners to flank, pull out the big weaponry. There's 30
call down
airstrikes. Call down airstrikes, blow up antennas. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff going on there, but it's not a run-and-gun Rambo game, and that's one of the things that appealed to me, because the people who were demoing it, the product manager actually taking the slow, stealthy route, and really saw, just building up the atmosphere, and then as a counterpoint, their other demoer showed what happens when you go Rambo, and he was dead inside 5 seconds. It was pretty pathetic watching him, bless him. But that's what a good tax sim's all about. I mean, it's not Twitch gaming. There are enough Twitch games out there, and I think it's really nice that they've got this. Did
they tell you about the difficulty levels?
I didn't talk about the difficulty levels.
The difficulty levels just make it more realistic. Like, you won't actually take more damage, or the enemies aren't smarter, but there'll be less on-field assistance. And if you play on the hardest difficulty, it really is more like a more simulation of you being there, instead of the waypoints popping up and stuff like that, which I thought was a cool take on difficulty. I like the old GoldenEye and Thief routine, where when you play on different difficulty levels, they actually give you new objectives and stuff. But there are secondary objectives that you don't have to fulfill, so there is some cool optional stuff to tackle.
There's some stuff against the clock where if you don't take out a radar base by a certain time, the helicopters that are dropping in the second wave of your troops get taken out. The loadouts are pretty accurate. They've got the one-shot, one-kill mechanic if you get shot in the head from a distance. You've got the different classes as well, where you've got the medic, the heavy gunner,
engineer.
Yeah.
And then the team leader.
Yeah.
Now, could all 4 of you go as the same class, or do you have to each take
It sounded like each one had to choose a role.
Each fire team has to have their own particular roles, but I think the understanding I got was that you can actually take control of different fire teams as well.
Yeah, and you can pick up weapons and stuff. So there's only a couple of different items that really differentiate you. I think anyone can actually pick up bandages. It's just the medic starts with them and stuff like that.
And that's actually the only problem I actually had with watching the game, was that you can loot the enemy corpses, and they were really playing up the involvement of the US Marines in this game. And from the Marines I've worked with in the past, you will never loot.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to be looting a corpse as a Marine.
Yeah, I mean, not only is it's just for weapons and ammo, but a U.S. Marine will never pick up an enemy's weapon or ammo, because they don't know how well it's been maintained. They don't know if it's booby-trapped. Right. They don't know if the corpse is booby-trapped itself. And that's the one thing that was a kind of as a stickler for the old school tax sims, that's the only problem I had with it. But I'm looking forward to it. I think
big
it's
levels
be great.
Too. They kept running some statistic about 220 square kilometers. I don't know what a kilometer is, but
35 billion.
1,000 meters.
It was 35 billion American miles.
Whoa!
It's the world's largest game.
It's as big as Texas.
But I'm looking forward to seeing it. I think I will definitely be playing it on the PC, because just I miss my my mouse and my keyboard. But the Xbox 360 version, it was the version we saw. It didn't look half bad. The AI looked pretty
local
smart.
co-op and Xbox Live.
Yeah.
My concern is if they built this with 4 human players in mind, when you go to play by yourself with 3 bots, those bots are going to have to be really freaking smart, unless they've retuned the game for depending on how many human players
I think that's where the tax sim part comes in a bit more, like when you played an old Rainbow Six game and you'd mark your map and stuff like that. There was a lot of map control as well.
Dropping orders on the fly is actually pretty intuitive. It's like the wheel comes up on screen, and you've got the different things to just tap and direct, and you go off to different sections. So medic, heal so and so, flank, stay here, change formation. It's actually pretty intuitive.
But think there's an audience for this on the consoles?
I think with the co-op, there definitely could be, for this kind of realistic side. I think some people may be disappointed with the single player. But I think if you're playing 4 players all with headsets, it can be probably a really cool experience.
My only fear is that I think on the PC it'll do well if if that old school tax sim market is still around. My fear on the console is that it will get mullered by Modern Warfare 2.
Well,
would be a
also,
shame.
I mean, you have to look at, Rainbow Six. Look at what they've done to that series to make it work on the consoles. They've changed it a lot.
Yeah.
So that makes you wonder whether this game will work with the console audience.
Well, I think it'll be an interesting experiment. I personally hope it does well, because I think a lot of people, a lot of gamers are growing up. A lot of people are, perhaps sick of out and out Twitch gaming, and perhaps there is a new market coming.
All right, now we're going to talk about Madden NFL 10, and don't close the window. We're not going to talk about it very long. We've totally realized a lot of you guys aren't into sports or into sports games, but this is a huge release in the industry, so we're going to talk about it briefly. I've been playing the hell out of this game for 3 weeks now. Yeah, wow. You have to play this game that much to
And which
review
team
it
are you
accurately.
playing as, Shane?
The Steelers, maybe?
Just checking.
Yeah. The Steelers are rated higher than the Patriots, as they should be. But let's talk about the game. So, Madden always gets a lot of heat every year. They always say, oh, you didn't really add anything. The game's the same. Well, one thing I will say is that this year the game is completely different. And the big change is ProTac. ProTac basically allows for real physics and collisions between players, so everything isn't predetermined. In old Madden games, you'd run up to a defender, either you'd juke him or you wouldn't, and then he'd hit you and you'd go down. In this game, it really depends on the angle you're hitting somebody at, the speed that each player is going at, and once you guys make contact, you still have control. So depending on how strong your running back is or your runner is, you can drive the pile forward. If you're hit by someone stronger than you, they'll drive you backwards. Players can actually pile on. You can have almost like a little rugby scrum, so to speak.
Don't besmirch the game of rugby with your American
I'm telling you, it's
football
very much like it.
shenanigans.
Offensive linemen can get in behind the running back, and they'll actually push the running back forward, while defensive linemen on the other side of the ball try to do the same thing. So, in all honesty, it is the most realistic running and tackling football game ever.
So with that being said, when you're
Even
on
all you
defense,
NFL 2K5 guys, like, you finally got to give it up. Like,
But
this game plays better in
Is
that
it
regard.
fun? That's the key thing. Is
It
it
is.
fun?
It's fun if you like football. If you don't like
Land.
football, it's not going to turn you into a football fan. I mean, it's really complicated. I mean, what people don't realize is that Madden is honestly one of the most complicated video games on the face of the planet.
totally
dude. I mean, seriously.
It's so funny.
I'm with
Somebody, a lot of hardcore gamers write it off. Oh, it's Madden. It's a sports game. Literally, these games are almost as complicated as like a lot of MMOs.
They're
you
like
get-
chess.
It's insane.
It is sport. It's
an
chess is a
RTS.
sport. Yeah, I wouldn't say that.
So the running, the tackling is great, which is always the core of a football game, and I love it, but it's also provided for a lot of issues and bugs because this system is so new. One bug that I ran into a lot was I'd be running to cross the goal line, and a defender would meet me at the goal line, and before I would even get tackled to the ground, they would cut to this cinema of the referees like conferring in the end zone of whether I scored or not. And it wasn't like where they stopped my forward progress. Literally, they just would stop the play. So it makes you think, well, gee, is everything predetermined once the two players make contact? But the more you play it, you realize it doesn't happen all that often. And more often than not, you can really manipulate the pile or move the pile forward using the ProTac. Now, the big issue, and this sort of goes back to what we were talking about before, is that EA is asking you for a lot of extra money for this game.
Yeah.
First of all, if you buy this game used and you want to start an online franchise, which also, by the way, is a new feature and totally awesome, being able to play with up to 31 of your friends online in a league that lasts for 10 years, it's just sweet. But if you buy this game used, you have to spend another $10 to start your online franchise.
right? Because when you buy it new, it comes with a downloadable
when you buy it new,
code.
there's a code on the instruction book that you put in when you sign up for the franchise, and then you get it free.
And it's a one-time deal.
And it's
too.
a
I mean,
one-time
once you
deal.
do
So
it,
if you
it's
buy it
expired.
new, it's $59.99 plus tax. If you buy it used, it's generally $54.99 plus
$5
tax.
off.
So you get $5 off for the privilege of buying a used version. Then you have to shell out another $10 for the franchise league, which makes it more expensive. And not only
You're
that,
actually paying more for a used game.
but I also understand there are more things in there that will cost you some extra money.
Yeah, what else is EA doing?
So one of the other offerings is VIP service, basically, and that doesn't mean you get a bottle and some girl to wipe off your drink. What it means is that you can get your own set of servers to play on in your own lobby, so you can conceivably hook up with players who aren't going to drop out in the middle of games, people who are serious about it. You can find people to join your league who are actually going to follow through and play the game, so you're not constantly badgering them. That's $5 for the VIP
Is
servers.
that a one-time fee?
Yeah.
One-time fee. And then you are a quote-unquote VIP.
Until they shut down the servers.
Right. Until a year later when they shut down the
they
servers
do after
You say
12
to
months.
make you buy Madden NFL
Yeah.
11.
The last year's Madden, they already shut down the online servers, right? Or they're
Yes.
about to?
Yeah. They don't
Did it
leave
even
them
hit 12? Did it even hit 12 months, 365 days?
I'm not sure what the total day count will be.
That seems like BS.
So On top of that, and here's what really bothers me more than anything else, like constantly throughout the game, especially if you lose, you're prompted with this ability to boost your stats. So you think, oh, I've done really well. I pulled off 15 spin moves in the last game, or I intercepted 5 passes, so they're giving me this bonus. No, you don't get awarded that based upon your performance. They want money. Basically, if you suck at the game, you can pay money to boost your stats to be competitive.
That's amazing.
That's bull. And
It's like if you can't beat them, then pay to
Buy
beat
'em
them.
out.
Yeah, buy them out.
It just seems after months and months of Activision being the big bad, EA got upset and decided to come back and we can still piss people off too. And I can understand. I can understand them wanting to charge for perhaps the online franchise as their way of trying to make some revenue out of the used games. I'm not condoning it. I said I say I understand it, but honestly, this
$10 is maybe a little much. Maybe like $5 for
Yeah, that makes
online
more
franchise.
But at the end of the day, anything that and you could do this in Tiger Woods
Yeah,
as well.
that's right.
Anything where you can buy the stats, and these stats apply in the online world. That's just bull. And
I
it's,
agree.
it's just.
But can you pay
rampant
money to make someone else's stats worse? Because that would be awesome.
No. Now see, people would get angry if
Yeah.
you'd have the vocal minority then. Here in this case, no one's going to complain about it until they're ones that get burned by it. So
Is it obvious if you bought a better character?
I have not, Brian. I'm not going to pay for enough.
You have to do it for the
I'm
team.
going to get a code from
Whatever
EA and
are
do
you
it.
For the
saying?
team.
I don't know. I haven't tried it honestly to see what it does. Like I just constantly am bombarded with here, spend money to upgrade your skills, and I'm just like, if I need to
skills.
play
Yeah.
to increase my skills and
Yeah.
get better at the game. It's
Can you
just
even turn those tags off or those notifications?
no, they pop up like on your franchise screen just
That's really annoying.
by default. Yeah.
I think the way we're going though is that we are going to be hitting this area where you're going to get the basic game, and then all these different upgrades to customize it. My only problem is that the cost of the basic game is not coming down. If
Customizing's fine. Like if you
you
want
could-
to like give me like a bunch of decals I can use to create my own team with, or logos or something like that, that's fine.
NCAA did
cool
that. That was really
mascot.
cool.
But if you're
no-
paying money for something that should be in the game, or if you're paying for money for something that's going to unbalance the game, like that's just wrong.
And be obsolete in 12 months'
Square
time.
Enix did it too. This is a little strategy game on WiiWare called My Life as a Dark Lord.
Yeah.
Like it launched, I think it was like a $10 game or something when it launched. But the same day it launched, there's like $50 worth of stuff you can download, including spells that make the game easier.
Nope.
The thing I'd say is that if EA want to go down this route with the sports games in particular, the way I'd look at it is sell me the new Madden iteration for $30.
Right.
And then if you want the additional $25-$30 from me to enhance the game, let me buy a packet. I have the option to buy different packages where it's like I can have 5 selections for $10, 10 selections for $20, and so on. So if I want to customize it all the way out and know that that's going to be useless inside 12 months, fine. But if I don't want to do it and I just want to play the basic game, that would be a great option. But just make the core game cheaper.
Yeah. So we promised we weren't going to talk about it very long, so I'll just give you a quick synopsis of whether you should or should not buy Madden. If you're a yearly purchaser of this franchise, go buy it. It's one of the better upgrades of the franchise in quite a long time. And if you're used to paying that money for the game and selling back your old one, you're not going to be pissed off if you repeat that process this year. If you bought Madden a couple years ago and you've been waiting for this huge paradigm shift to occur before you buy it again, I probably would not buy the game. The Pro Tac is great. It really changes how the fundamentals of the game are played, but there's still like a lot of bugs and just goofy crap that happens in this game that really kind of sours things over the long haul. So, if you're the yearly Madden customer, step right up, buy it again. If you're the guy who cautiously waits for the next big thing, I would hold.
Passing. There for the catch. Inside the 30. To the 10. Touchdown. The Raiders handled that situation well. They got the opportunity to tie it, and they came through with a touchdown. Nice play calling and well executed on that series.
All right, next we're going to talk about Assetize.com, a place where you can go and sell your Xbox Live or PSN logins.
Or Twitter accounts or Facebook accounts, although why anybody want to buy a Facebook account is beyond me.
Well, I wonder if you
Yeah.
could buy a GameTrailers account and get some sweet GTP.
P.
I think double check there.
I have 165 GTP. Give me 10 pence for them.
Pence.
Yeah, that's like $1 million.
What do you guys think about this? Selling like your... I mean, I've been a member of Xbox Live since it launched, so I don't need like to have like 50 numbers after my name so that it's unique or whatever. But I would never consider selling it. One, I would probably get $2 for it. It's like the rep that I've built up with that name and the friends list I've built, it's not worth the money I'm going to get selling it. And some of the prices they were asking were outrageous.
Yeah, well, it started out as an auction, and then one specific gamer tag which had the word like Pro Assassin in it.
Yeah.
The starting bid was $100.
And did anybody bid on it?
I don't think so. I mean, who's going to be?
So are
And then
people
you can start
going
a bid at
for,
anything.
are people going
yeah.
for names or gamer names or
Achievement points?
achievement points? What are they going for?
Well, you get all that stuff.
You
I
get
mean,
all
you get their
that
points.
stuff. You get
Yeah.
their points. You get their downloadable content. Anything they
Yeah, any
pay
free
to download.
games.
Oh, I guess that's kind of an okay way to maybe. I can see it in that angle. Then, if you're trying to recoup the costs, like I'm giving up video games and I'm going to sell my username, and I bought Res, so maybe I can get $3 back. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or
But
if
I'm
you're
sure it
selling a
does-
360 or a PS3 and you're not going to buy another one, I guess.
Why don't
Yeah.
you just sell your friggin' hard drive with the login information?
Well,
on it saying-
obviously you can't do that with the PS3, but certainly
But
on a
for an
360
Xbox, yeah.
you could.
Yeah.
But I also think this is obviously, I would imagine it's a term of service violation with both Xbox and PlayStation Network.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, this has been going on for years.
Does it say your account is non-transferable?
I'm sure
when you sign
it
up?
is.
It's one of those things I skip.
Yeah.
No, I think nobody ever reads it.
I've
but I mean,
recovered
it's
my gamer
standard.
tag at multiple places here at the office and back home, and I've actually used a code here at the office, went home and was able to recover it, and I was able to download it again, so it does.
Well, you've
work.
got to assume, though, that it's not tied to a credit card or a name.
Well, if you've got Xbox Live Gold membership, you will be tied to a credit card that
Well,
you
then
have
how
to
can the
delete all
people
that
sell
info.
them? I mean, if
You'd
it's...
have to delete that info. But I mean, this has
Yeah.
been going on in the MMO environment for years with EverQuest, World of Warcraft.
Yeah, I mean, no, people like when I used to be a bigger nerd than I am now, and I was addicted to Slashdot.
You've
people-
become less of a nerd?
I think I have. I used to say Linux like 7 times a day. But I mean, people used to sell like if you had a low like Slashdot user ID, people would sell those. I think this is really, really marginal,
Yeah.
and I don't think anyone's going to go after it because it's not that big of a deal. It's not like it isn't exactly like a World of Warcraft character where we've been talking a lot about competitive gaming and unfair things, huh?
Yeah.
But I mean,
this
this
is like the unfair episode.
I mean, I guess if you bought someone's account and they had a powered-up character in like some online game, but I mean, I think it's pretty marginal and it's a little weird. There's probably a small market for it, but I don't think it's the biggest deal. Just weird more than anything else.
It's a
I think if you
daft
had
concept.
100,000 gamer points, maybe, or some astronomical number of gamer points, and you had a bunch of DLC, maybe you have 100 Rock Band tracks or something, I think people might buy that. I mean, that's some prestige.
How would
to have.
you,
if
how
you
would
had
you
all that-
feel buying that, though?
Yeah,
Like-
if you had all that stuff, I mean, you'd become a very exclusive group because the person who's selling it is obviously the saddest cunt in the world, and the person buying it is the second saddest cunt.
But what
in the
about
world.
the friends list when you start getting all these messages from people you don't know?
Yeah.
Oh, that's maybe you could have some fun with it.
Yeah.
No, I see
You'd have to
the angle.
delete the friends
You'd have to
list,
really go
obviously.
through and clear it up,
But
yeah.
hopefully the person that's selling it will contact his friends and be like, hey, I'm selling this account. You might want to remove me from your friends list. Or you might want to leave me on.
Buy friends. That's
Yeah.
what you could be doing too. I need friends and I need points.
Overall, though, I mean, this is kind of a non-story, isn't it? Selling your PSN and Xbox
I think it just
Live
goes to
games.
show we're really bored.
Yeah, it's been a long, dry summer.
Don't be a stranger.
He surrendered almost without a fight. I don't like it.
All right, that's going to do it for this week's show. I hope everyone is having an awesome summer. It is finally starting to draw to a close. I know it'll make our lives much easier when the summer is over and the games start rolling in.
Until you start complaining about too many games being released and you're not got enough time to go home and see your lovely wife.
That is true.
Well,
but
maybe we can push some more games to 2010.
yeah, I don't know. There's not many left.
Bye, StarCraft.
Definitely check us out on Twitter. Go to Facebook, join the group. Once again, I know I say this once every 3 episodes. I'm sorry, I do not accept friend invites from people I do not know. It hurts my soul every time I deny somebody, but I literally get so many requests that I really just keep my Facebook to people I know in the real world. So I apologize for that, but do join the group. Also, the site is headed to Germany for Gamescom. They're all leaving this weekend. In fact, Ryan and the crew are already starting to pack their stuff up to head over there. As usual, we will have around-the-clock coverage from the show. We're always first with getting the hot video up, so make sure you check out the site. We'll have a huge landing page where we collect everything. As always, thanks for your support, and we'll see you next week.
We do have a show next week. We're doing a show next week. We're doing a smaller show, though, just to let not everybody's going to Germany, and some of us.
I'm actually not going to Germany.
So it'll just be you, me, and Brooks, and we'll get a bottle of vodka in, and we'll set the world to rights.
And we'll try to finish it before the show's over.
Yeah!
and then we'll carry Brooks out on a stretcher.
Because he's 12.
Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week. Peace.